What's up, YouTube? It's y'all girl NeneTheGreat, and I am back with another video. And today, guys, I have my beautiful aunt, Miss Jessica Lewis. And as y'all can see by that beautiful title, today we're going to be dedicating this video to mental health awareness month. My aunt is a domestic violence survivor, so I'm going to be asking her a couple of questions. We're going to get her story, some advice. I think this video is going to be really helpful. And like I said, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and of course domestic violence does play a big part on, you know, people's mental state and like mental stability, their mental health. So we're gonna get straight into this video. Alright, so first I want you to, introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, a little bit about you.
Okay, my name is Jessica. As she said, I am a domestic violence survivor. So I hope that the story that I tell you guys today, it does reach out to somebody that may be going through it, whether male or female, to let you know that it's okay to walk away. Like, you don't have to stay. It's okay.
Most definitely. Okay, so the first question is going to be, what happened to you?
Okay, so basically I was in this relationship that I thought was just, it was cool, like we vibe, and it turned into firstly being controlling, like really not wanting you to go nowhere. Like clubs and all that, like you can go hang out, but you better be in the house when I get home. Like I'm gonna go have my fun
over you.
Yeah, so it started off with controlling first, and then it was verbal abuse, like being called out your name, like all the B's and all that. And it's like, okay, we just gonna talk about it. Like, I don't like that form of disrespect. And it went from there to being physical. Like,
did it start with like a push, or was it just?
It was, the first time it was body slamming. And it was like, of course, because this person is known and people know him, oh nah, he didn't do that.
So like, people automatically underestimated him, because they knew him.
He didn't do that, man, you tripping. Like, and I'm like, okay, like that's what it is.
Yeah. But
me not having certain things, or like knowing like it's okay, like just go talk to somebody, or it was like, it was kind of hard because I was already in my own shell.
So you wasn't really social already.
So it was like I was scared to say something, and then it was like at the same time trying to just be like, nah, I'm tripping. Like maybe it was something I said.
So basically people are making you feel like he wouldn't do it, make you feel like, okay, well maybe they're right.
But like, he wouldn't do nothing like that. Maybe he was high, or maybe he had been drinking too much. Like I don't see him doing nothing like that.
So even though you knew, it was still like something in the back of your mind made you still doubt it.
Yeah.
Do you think that was because you loved them?
Yeah. And then it's like, when you don't have a male they can actually just show you like that's not it, or when you dealt with any type of violence, whether it's molestation or whether it was just being talked to crazy,
you suppress it,
and it's like in your mind that's normal. You
feel like you have to put up with it. You feel like you have to
it's like it's normal. And then when you're trying to protect and the things that were being said and the things that were being done, I feel like I had to do it on my own.
You feel powerless.
Yeah. And it's like, when people look at it, they feel like it ain't that hard just to get up and leave. But really, when you're not put in that situation where you're the one that's not having to go through it, you really don't know. It's like,
and I'm not gonna say I hate, but I really don't like when people say like, well, if it was me, oh, that couldn't be me, because I've even been in a situation before that was domestic violence. I've been in a situation before where it was family violence. So you can't ever say, oh, that couldn't be me. You can never say that, because wrong don't discriminate.
And then some people feel like, what do you mean? Like, even if you still had love in the household, it doesn't matter if your father wasn't there. It doesn't matter if you didn't have that male figure.
Mm-hmm.
But it does, because when you're a woman, if you don't have that man to show you this is how it's supposed to be, then you kind of lack in that part.
That's why it's so important. Fathers, love your daughters. That absence, if you're a man watching this video, that absence, that's something that I really can't even sit here and explain how it feels, because naturally women are drawn to men. So the first form of affection, or first form of acceptance that you get from a man, it's not that, oh, she fast, oh, she hot, oh, she grown. It's just, that's what we were born to have. We're nurturers. We're naturally connected to the male species. So it comes natural. That's why it's so important. And I do feel like my generation so far, the guys that I do see, you guys are very good fathers, and I commend you all to that. But to, you know, generations coming and newly fathers, like, love your daughters, love your children, love your sons, keep your kids close, because it's just, that feeling is just, it's something you just can't explain. Like,
it's very, like,
it's really hard.
Some people feel like, oh, well, they have you supposed to show them love. You the mother, you supposed to nurture. But
we're not supposed to raise no man.
Exactly. And when they don't have that mother figure there, they try to lean toward it. It's not my job.
Yep. And that's another thing too. A lot of women love your sons, because a lot of guys' issues, it does come from maybe their father wasn't there, or maybe the way their mother treated them. So it's just like, as a parent, you have a really big responsibility. And sometimes, you know, a parent can be a really good parent and your child still turn out bad. That can happen. But overall, in most cases, sometimes, you know, parents are absent.
When you have a woman and they're trying to speak out and they're trying to say this is what happened, it's very bad when their family is like, oh, you lying, and they want to retaliate towards you, or they tell you he should have killed you, or he should have did that. And I'm like, well, what if you were placed in my shoes? That's why I say it does not matter. Domestic violence,
people can be very inconsiderate until it's them in that position. And I feel like the world will become a very better place when people learn to just put themselves in other shoes instead of judge people, instead of automatically. Like, I try not to be judgmental. It's some things that I'm just like, okay, that's just wrong. She just wrong. But in the end, I'm always willing to sit down and talk to somebody. I'm always willing to be open-minded. Even if I form an opinion, I still will go in like, let me still try to get to know you. I'm going to have my guard up maybe, but let me still try to get to know you. Because you never know what a person may have been through for them to make the decisions that they are making. So you can't be judgmental. You have to always be, you know, open and welcoming to people, because you might make a person comfortable enough to tell you something that could be saving them from killing themselves, or could be saving them from going kill somebody. Like, just, I like to be that person that people can come to. So I do understand, you know, where you're coming from and how frustrating that could be, because it's like, you should have did what?
Like, I don't understand why you still there. If he beat on you like that, then why? But when you have somebody that turns into stalker mode, like, when you have that person, when you're like, okay, I know I can leave, like, let me just get out of it, then it's stalker mode. Then it's, if you want to leave me, I have this person sitting at the bus stop waiting on your child. So you trying to rush home from work.
You went through all of that. And how old were you when all of this, like,
20
started?
I was like in my early 20s, like maybe 24, 23, 24. It wasn't until almost 25, my son had just, like, he was in kindergarten, maybe first grade. So it was like a lot of stuff that had to be endured. But it's like, okay, I'm trying to leave, but he doing this. Everybody, well, you should call the police. What do you do when you're constantly calling them and they tell you, well, he's not here, there's nothing we can do? I had so many police reports, like so many, that when everything finally hit the fan, when I went to the police station, they had 2 files. Like, it's ridiculous.
So you can be going to seek help. You could be going to the police. You could be telling people family. You could be telling your family, and you still get the short end of the stick. So honestly, I mean, where's the way out?
And it's like,
how can a person even remove themselves from something where it's no way out? And when she say hit the fan, it's a news clip. I mean, it was really big. It's a news clip. This was back in 2006.
2006,
right?
Yeah.
It's a news clip when everything finally, you know, kind of exploded and got big. I'm gonna do my best, y'all, to try to find that news clip, but I really want to get this video out, more importantly, so people can, you know, just see that they're not the only one going through it. You can come through it. Like she said, she was 24 years old when this took place, and now
I'm 35.
So this is 11 years ago, and she's here now. She's strong. So I really want to get this video out, more importantly. I'm gonna do my best to try to find it, even if we have to come back later on and, you know, y'all show y'all the video, we will. But I mean, it finally ended up getting big, but for so long you was just running in circles.
Nothing. And then it's like, my family, you know, when they started seeing, they were just like, you know, okay, Jessica. But it was like a part of me that I spoke, but I was so terrified to tell all. So it was like, I can tell you so much, but it's like, at the end of the day, when he's threatening my family, if you're not at home, I can do X, Y, Z. If you at work, trust me, I know where these people stay.
And all of that is so mind control.
I'm like, okay, I know y'all gonna be mad at me, but I have to do this, because what if something happened? What if he do act out and hurt one of y'all in this process? Then I have all that.
Yeah.
So it was like frustration.
You don't feel like it's your fault. But that's the manipulation. That's the mind game. That's where the mental games come in. That's where it's like, okay, I'm gonna have control of her emotionally, physically, and mentally. And when a person is smart enough and can manipulate you that well, it's honestly like, I mean, like, what can you do?
So I had family members, like, they were mad, but I never really said, you know, I never really went into further extent of this is what's going on. So then it became,
because you were scared. You didn't want him to do what he was saying that he would do to your family, and you know he's doing it to you.
Exactly.
So he has that bluffing on you. It's like, okay, he's
like,
really crazy.
Is he really bad enough to do this, or is he saying it because he know it's gonna scare me because I care so much?
Yeah.
So it became to where I tried to get out of my shell. No, I'm gonna leave him. You know, forget it. Like, I just keep calling the police. So I eventually eased into moving on. And it became Stalker. Like, calling my phone. If I went on a date, he could tell me what I had on, what time I came home, you know, all that. And one particular night,
that is so scary.
I got so fed up. And me, my mom, my son, my brother, we were all in the house. And I was like, you know what? If this is what you want, you really want to hurt me that bad, I'm not going to let you get to my family. So I grabbed weapons, because I'm like, either you're going to kill me, but I'm going to have to defend myself before the police get here. So I stepped outside. Nowhere. It's like, but you can still tell me what I'm doing. So at this time, I'm like, well, who do you know over here? Who house are you sitting in? Who are you, like, who's helping you?
Where you gonna go?
And when the police got there, my brother by this time was fed up. So he's outside and he's looking. When the police get there, my brother's coming from the backyard. They throw my brother on the ground. I'm like, no, that's not him. That's my brother. And it's like, dealing with all that, it started getting me to where I started shutting down. It was like, yeah, I would do stuff and keep a smile on my face, but deep down inside, I'm like,
you heard.
I'm just ready, like, to just run away, just end it, because it's so much that's going on. And like I said, the police come after everything. He's not here. There's nothing we can do.
And I'm so, honestly, now it's so many like domestic violence helplines and domestic violence organizations. It's so many now, and I really do want us to get involved into something like that. I really want your story to be
reaching
heard.
out to like people, and they have return phone calls. It's just dealing with COVID. It's like,
right now, everything
so
is kind of
like,
at a pause.
We're trying to do things to where in October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we're trying to get together to do a walk. Like, I'm gonna try to find people to make shirts, whether you can be, I'm a family member of a survivor, or I'm a survivor because
I know a survivor, my sister's a survivor, my friends are survivors. Just shirts with stuff like that on it.
It get real, and it gets crazy to a point to where you rather go back and lie, because every time you call the police, nobody's helping.
Help. Yeah, it's no help.
So you rather your family be mad at you and not talk to you because you're protecting them. And I've never told, like,
and a lot of people ask that. A lot of people say, well, why did you go back? Well, why did you this? Why did you that? But honestly, hearing your story, it's like you get to a point where I just rather deal with this than deal with the real issue. So like I say, it's suppressing it. And when you suppress something, you just make it seem like it's less than what it is. You make it seem like, oh, it's not that serious, but it really is that serious. It really is that bad.
Suppressing is the worst thing that you can ever do, because that's when the suicidal thoughts come. That's when, you know, I can't take this anymore. Maybe if I just go ahead and end it, it'll be better. And that's when that come, and it's like, it's hard. Like, it really is, because you still have family that care. Did you ever think you would be, or did you ever think you would experience domestic violence? Did you ever think you would be with somebody and they would put their hands on you? Coming up when I was little, I was like, I'm gonna get married, because you see all the fairy tales. I was like, I'm gonna have my babies and I'm gonna be married. Like, I didn't think that I would have to go through the trials and tribulations before I got to this point. She never thought she would experience it, just like somebody watching this probably think they would never experience it. Just like I feel like, oh, I would never experience it. Like, and my story, not to compare, but I didn't go through nearly as much as she's went through. But I was put in a situation where a guy tried to put his hands on me. And luckily, I was mentally like strong enough to walk away from the situation. But a lot of people might not believe this, but I went back and I was still his friend. I went back, I was still around him. We were still cool for a little while. And then it just got to the point where I finally was like, okay, I'm back up. And originally, when I went back to still be kind of cordial with him, it was out of fear of, dang, is he gonna try to come to my mama's house and do something, or is he bad enough? Let me just make sure we all right. But it got to the point where I feel like, okay, look, at the end of the day, God is in control. Ain't nobody finna have no control over me, and nobody finna have control over my life. It is what it is, and if you come over here on that bull, it's just gonna go down. That's how I feel. And I'm glad you were that strong, because like I said, like myself and some people, you're not as strong. Like, you can be that big, powerful woman when you around all your people. But love can humble you. But when you are away from them, when it's quiet, and that person knows exactly the right things to say. And you are only as strong as your weakest moment. Whatever your weakest moment is, whatever was the hardest thing for you to get through, that's how strong you are. And I've always felt like, you know what, I have a purpose.
I can't let nobody stop me from getting to that. And like, I know sometimes when I say that, people probably be like, well, what she mean? When I say I know I have a purpose, I mean it's something I'm here to do, something big, something that I can't imagine, you can't imagine, we wouldn't ever be able to imagine it. And I just wish I could just put that into other people's head, because it gets me through so much. Just confidently knowing, you have something you have to do.
Yeah.
You have something you have to do.
Like you're here for a reason. If you wasn't here for a reason, when this happened, you would have been gone a long time ago. Yeah. When that happened, you just would have went on here to take your life.
You wouldn't make it through what you've been through if you're not supposed to be where you are right now. We all have a purpose. So the next question is, do you feel that domestic violence is a cycle that can be broken?
Definitely. Like, it does not matter where you come from. It doesn't matter if it was family domestic violence. It doesn't matter if it was your boyfriend, your husband. It does not matter. It's the fact that if you've been through it, like, you have that opportunity to be like, okay, I've been through it, but I'm not going to allow this to happen with my children. I'm not going to allow this, I want my children to see, like.
And coming from what you went through, for you to say you feel like the cycle can be broken, I believe it.
And it can, I look at the fact that, like I said, my son grew up with me. Like, I had him at 15.
And how do you feel like it affected your son?
It affected him in a major way.
For women with kids that's going through something like that, or is putting up with something like that, what would you tell them? What's your advice to them?
I know it's hard. Like, I know that, like, you feel like, I can't leave. We're married. I can't leave. This is my son's or my daughter's father. Like, I can't leave because I invested so much.
You want your child to have a family.
From a person that my son was there, he developed hatred. He developed, like, I gotta get him. Me seeing and hearing from other people how my child would sit and talk to some of his close friends about how he was plotting to get rid of somebody that hurted his mother. So now my son's lack of trust, like, he doesn't.
It made him cold.
Yeah, and it's like,
as a man, to know that you couldn't protect your mother.
And that hurts, because
don't put y'all son through that.
Never. Till this day, I still, like, my heart, like, I haven't talked to nobody about it, but to this day I still hurt, because I'm like, my son seen his mama go through something that no child that age should see their mama go through. Like, and it's nothing I can do. Like, I can't rewind the clock and be like, I'm sorry. I can't I can't undo what he's seen. Like, I could have been gone away from him, and then what?
And who would have been there for him?
So it's like, it hurts. And like, I don't tell people, because some people do judge and be like, well, you should have left. But
it's your fault.
When you're a mother, you try to protect. You try to be there and be like, okay, well, he's gonna hurt my child, so let me, But now my baby, he'll be 20, and it's like, he puts his stuff in music, but even though it's good, I still hurt, because I'm like, you shouldn't have.
A mother knows their child. A mother knows their child.
Yeah, and it's like, he's no mother, like, at all. Even if it's like, if you feel like, just get away, because in the long run, your children, they hold on to that. They hold on to it.
This is a primary example. This is a genuine example of, don't ruin your child. Don't put them in the position to feel powerless. Don't put them in a position to have that hatred in their heart, because once it's there, that's hard to get rid of.
A little boy, especially a little boy.
That's what I say, because a man wants to protect. He has to turn into a man. He's gonna protect every woman in his life. And don't make him have that early on failure, like, I didn't do it then, so let me make up for it. Or I didn't do it then, so let me make up for this, mama. You don't want that to be on his heart. You don't want that to be on his conscience, because that's when we get, you know, more murders. That's when we get more just more negativity in the black community, or in the Hispanic community, in the Chinese, Vietnamese, Persian, whatever the race may be. That's how we form pain and more hurt. That's how we form that type of stuff. So like she said, if you have a child, walk away for them. Spare them the hatred later on down in life. Spare them from going through, you know, what they could possibly end up going through. And I feel like, you know, I'm very close to Lil Chris. His name is Lil. Oh no,
you say.
I'm very close to Lil Chris, and from a child up until now, firsthand, I do see how it's affected him. I really do see it. And men are nothing like women. Emotionally, they're taught, oh, you gotta be strong, you gotta hold this in, you gotta keep it together.
He does not like to talk about.
Like, if I call Chris right now and say, look, Chris, somebody just, the person he can become within that couple of seconds, he can go from to demon time. So that's not normal. That's not okay. He's not gonna process it. All he gonna know and all he's gonna think of is my sister and it's hurt.
Yep.
That's all he's gonna think of. And don't put your family in that position, you know. Don't put your kids in that position. Don't put anybody in that position. Because I've had friends that was in domestic violence situations, and to me, I always felt like, oh my God, it's so selfish of her to keep going back to this, because what if he take you from us?
And you have some people that's like, they don't think, like, and it's so much. And at first, like, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna talk about it. Like, it happened, I got over it, I'm not gonna talk about it. And I told your mama, one day something popped up on Facebook where the girl was with her dude and he killed her on Facebook.
It's been a lot of those.
And I'm just like, you know, it's so many signs that push me to just, you need to talk. You need to talk. Whether people pass judgment or not, you still need to get it out, because...
And thank you so much for
letting me,
you know, be the one that you go ahead and just, okay, this is what it is. Like, I really appreciate you, and I really, really, really know, like, and feel that this is gonna help people. Like, it really is. It
and
really,
I hope
really
so,
is.
because even though you have that fear, even though he's telling you, I kill your family, you still need to have that protection, because now the police are actually trying to be like, okay, whether he or not, you want to press charges? Because if you want to press charges, you have, come on, let's press charges. You know, they're leading you on a path, which is, in me, it's like calling.
Times have changed.
Yeah, it's like it changed. They don't care if you go back to him today or tomorrow. Do you want to press charges? Because we can go get him.
Because once you, and what they told me, like y'all said, I'm a law student. But what I was told in my situation is I press charges, boo, person right quick. So, but what they told me was, they called me, hey, do you want to continue and do you want to go to trial? Or we can just leave this here. We can leave this file here. It could be left alone. And if you ever are threatened again, if you ever are put in another position where something has happened, we can pick it up at any time and move forward with your case. So even if you scared to send a person to jail, but you just want to scare them, or you just want to show them, hey, I'm really done, if this is the father of your child, or whatever it might be, get that little, press them charges, get that restraining order. But you only know when you're really done. It's nothing nobody can tell you. It's nothing nobody can say. This video is just to show you guys that you are not alone, that you are not the only one, that it's not your fault, that it's nothing you're doing. You're not the problem. This comes from issues that people have rooted down within them, and they have no self-control, or they're just a controlling person. So I wanted to just, you know, do this video so y'all can know, like I said, you're not alone. And it's people that have gotten through it. 11 years. Oh Lord, she's an 11-year survivor. So it's like, it might be hard in the beginning, like she said, but times have changed. I even seen videos where you can call 911 and act like you ordering a pizza. And they'll take that when... Yeah, so it's like times have changed, times are evolving. This is being taken serious because of people that are killing their girlfriend on Facebook Live. People that are killing these mothers and leaving these children behind, you know. Another thing too that I want to get through and get clear, as far as kids, like we say, you know, Mom, don't put your kids through this. But if you're a child of a mother that's going through this, or if you're a child of a mother and she's constantly going back or accepting it, I want y'all to know, don't be mad at your mama. Don't hate her. Don't feel like she don't love herself. Don't feel like she don't love you. Because sometimes, and I know this is why me and my mother have such a great relationship. Mothers sacrifice and put up with a lot that they don't deserve to sometimes see their kids happy. And it might not make sense. It might sound like, what are you talking about? Why my mom put up with something? But this is true. A woman might put up with a man that's no good just so her kids can have food on the table. A mother might put up with a relationship that's toxic just so her kids could, you know, be okay or have a roof over their head. And before you be judgmental and say, well, why she don't go get a job, or well, why she don't go do this, or why she gonna do that, things take time. Parenting does not come with a handbook. I'm not saying, you know, we should just feel like, oh, well, my mama can do whatever, but parenting does not come with a handbook. A lot of parents are reflections of what their parents were. And my mama could have got beat and raped, so then she don't know how to deal with something, and it rolled down into me, you know what I'm saying? The people who raise you, they definitely shape you as a person, but don't hold them accountable for your future, and don't hold them accountable for who you are, and do not make mistakes. Do not make them the reason for your mistakes. We all have a choice.
Don't let it because our ancestors was taught, and your parents was taught, and your parents' parents, they were taught that when things happen, you suck it up, you suppress it, you pray about it and go.
And what I call it?
Talk, open up, because I'm a living witness. When you hold things in, especially from domestic violence, I've been domestic violence, rape, and when you hold it in,
it makes it worse.
Like pressure bust a pipe.
Yep.
And it could be a nervous breakdown. It could be a little small argument and you just blow from there. So it's like,
because it's built up.
Yeah, it's like, don't allow them to tell you, oh, you'll get over it. Oh, because you never get over it. Like, till this day, like, I could be playing, even with my future boyfriend, like, we're playing, or if me and my son, if you raise your hand too close to my face, I flinch. Still to this day, because it's like
trauma. It's trauma.
Yeah, and when you don't talk, when you try to put your big girl panties on and just be like, I got this, I gotta be strong, like, you don't have to.
At some point you're gonna break down. At some point you're gonna get to that exploding point. And like you were saying, you know, as far as the generation and generations, be the one to break the generational curses. Be the one to break those strongholds and those chains that's in your family that has been passed down and passed down and passed down. I'm a generational curse breaker. I'm a generational tradition, however you want to call it. I'm changing the game. I refuse to go through what my mother has went through. I refuse to go through what my aunt has went through. I refuse to go through what my father has went through. I refuse to go through the things I've seen them go through, because I take heed. She's still struggling to this day with somebody flinching their, you know, putting their hand by her face and flinching. But if you see the stuff around you, you have the option to say, okay, I see what she went through. I see how that turned out. Let me make the different decisions. Let me walk away because he calling me out his name before he start putting his hands on me. Let me go ahead and step back because I have a child. I don't want my child to become hateful.
Yeah.
And then even as a child, you have parents like that. Let me forgive my mama right now and pray for my mama's strength instead of judging her and getting mad at her or hating her for something that she is just in that moment too weak or too afraid to walk away from. We have to be understanding because like I say, y'all, parenting does not come with a handbook. You can probably read 1,000,000 parenting books, but as a child, we're going to do something to catch our parents off guard. Something is going to happen. Life has obstacles that we have to go through that shapes us and molds us. So don't let your obstacles, steer you from your path. Go through what you're going through, get through it, know you have a purpose, and just keep pushing. That's how I feel. And you really, really, as a child, you really have to understand, man, our parents sometimes are going through so much that it's just
not only that,
we wouldn't understand.
Some children, and I've even seen on Facebook some little children, when they see their mamas just sitting there with a distressed look on their face or a worried look on their face, some of them just take their mama by the face and, "Mama, I love you." Yeah. If you're older and you're watching it and you may know that your mama going through something or you're old enough to understand, grab your mama. If you know you have a praying mama, grab your mama and pray with her, because sometimes when you have that person that can touch you and pray, it's like that prayer, that person that can actually touch you and pray and you feel it, it brings, like, it does something. Like, it really does. Because what I went through, my auntie had told me and my mama to come to church, and we went, and my mama, to this day, we still talk about it, like, and I kind of laugh about it because I was like, it was an out-of-body experience. Because I went to church and the pastor, I'm sitting there, I wasn't on the first second, I was like on the fourth row, and he was like, "Jessica, come here." I'm like,
"Nope, why me?"
And I came, and he didn't let the younger, he called for the mothers of the church. And when they prayed over me,
it's nothing like a praying mother or a praying grandmother.
My mama was like, she didn't even know. She was like, "Is that my daughter?" Like, it was like I was looking at myself, like releasing everything. It was like the hurt, the anxiety, the feelings. Like, I felt stupid, I felt embarrassed. Of course. That's why you don't talk, because
you don't want to look bad.
People be like, "Oh, she too pretty. Why would she go through that?" Or she
never
look at a female's outside. Never look because she's so pretty. Never look, "Oh, she dumb," because some females go through that embarrassing stage.
And then sometimes you can be pretty, but you can have so many insecurities that you feel like, I might be pretty on the outside, but I don't like the way on the inside. So it's not about looks, it's not about age, it's not about race. Domestic violence does not discriminate.
It doesn't.
Like, you have to understand that. And even if you watch this, don't feel like you can never go through it. You might turn 80 years old and go through it. You might turn 32 and go through it. You never know.
"Oh, me and my sister them, or me, even men," because this happens. We can never go through it. Look at what just happened on the news, where the dude went to the girl's house and shot her mama, and I believe her sister, then killed himself. Like, don't never think that it will never happen. Don't never think that. Don't, because you never know.
You never know.
And it's hard. Like, it's not an easy thing to get through.
But honestly, I'm so glad that you are here today. Thank you so much for finally being strong enough to walk away, because look at what we're here doing. Now, if you look back, if you can go back to your mind frame at the time, or your mentality at the time, did you ever think you would be sitting here talking about your story? You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I say you have a purpose. Now, if she would have gave up, if you would have let those suicidal thoughts take control, if you would have stayed with him, you wouldn't be here right now.
And this, be wearing me on one of y'all shirts. Like, it would be like,
so that's why when I say you have a purpose, this is a prime example. She has a purpose. We have purposes. So don't let, you know, temporary hurt, don't let temporary confusion, don't let, you know, temporary pain, don't let that steer you from the bigger picture, because it's big things that has to happen, and you'll never be able to see them or get to them if you give up or if you give in. So thank you so much, Amy, for sharing your story. Y'all, I really hope y'all like this video. Subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna drop her Instagram page down below. Y'all better send my Amy a bunch of encouraging words. Tell her thank you, lift her up. Like she says, she still hurts to this day. And especially ladies, we need each other. We need to be there to lift each other up
instead of
judging
and talking about like, if you know somebody that's going through it, don't
I try, even as a friend, like I said, because I've been in that position before as a friend. I try my best, and if I failed her in any way, you know, I apologize. But I really feel like, you know, I try my best to constantly just be there.
Because they need their support.
And honestly, for people that have friends that's going through, what would you give the advice to the friend? What should we do if we have a friend that's going through something like that?
Don't allow their standoffish. Don't allow, because why does she keep going back to him? Because like I said, you never know what he's telling her behind closed doors.
Controlling her mind.
Just take your friend. Take your friend.
Just always
pray with her. Be there. Let her know, like, you don't have to. I can help you. Like, let's pray. We're gonna pray. And you keep instilling it and keep being that friend, because I had friends that was like, they were mad. They were upset, real mad. But it was like, in the long run, they were there. Like, they were there to help me with my son. They were there when I even went through a complete nervous breakdown. Like, just ultimate. Just be there. Sometimes you may get frustrated because they're still going back. Why? But you never understand.
So since you're not in a position, just always be open. Even when they standoffish, even when they push you away, be open. So to anybody with a friend that might be going through it, if you feel like she acting funny or she this or she that, as a friend, it's just our responsibility to let her know, hey, I'm here for you no matter what. Because you always want people to know they have that one person they can run to when they finally done. You always want that. That's a responsibility, but I would rather my friend know she can come to me than she feel like, let me drown myself, let me slice my wrist, let me, and I don't mean to be.
It's going to try you. It's going to have you about to pull your hair, because you're going to be like, you really want to take her and shake her.
The devil don't want her to have an outlet. He want her to stay in that position. He want her to feel by herself. He want those suicidal thoughts to take over. So when you're being tried, and when you get to the point where it's like, I can't be her friend no more, I'm tired of this girl, I'm there for her, she not there for me. When you get to that point, calm down, you know, and just pray about it, because like I say, we need each other. We really do.
And then the last thing that I can leave you with and tell you, because it still gets me through it to this day, Jeremiah 29:11-16. And the only thing, like, I can't repeat everything, but I know what sticks out is, like, it says, for I know the plans I have for you. And I kid you not, like, I live by that. And every time I see it on Facebook, wherever I see it, I share it, because I love that one. Like, I love the whole Bible, but it's just something about that one that I just like. And when you have a friend that's going through something like that, find it. Find a scripture. Like, I'm going to send it to her, because, or I'm going to send it to him, because at the end of the day, they still need to know that we don't know what our purpose is. We don't know why we have to be here. But if they see that part, they know that, okay, I can make it through one more day. I don't have to slice my wrist today. I can make it. I can make it. I know I'm gonna get out of this relationship. Yeah, because my younger self, if
I got chills.
I had her right now and I could text her and be like,
that's what I want to say. What would you tell your younger self?
If I could tell her right now, baby girl, it's okay. Let it go. It's okay. You can make it. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to feel that hurt. It's okay that you drop into your knees crying. Stop holding it in. let everything go. Don't just let a person know what you want them to know.
Yeah.
Because, and that's what I have a problem with. If I'm hurting, I'd rather deal with it myself than
It's me.
It's like, because
it's so hard to open up. It's just like, maybe I can just get through this, but sometimes no. Don't put that all on yourself. Talk to somebody.
Yes.
Sometimes just having that one person you can vent to, it saves you from so much. Like my mama, I can call her and I could just vent. Yesterday I called you up, somebody, ain't it? I'm mad. Made me mad. You're like, and the first thing she said was, well, you can talk to me. I said, I didn't want to talk, I'm so mad. You can talk to me. I'm like, okay, well, this is what happened. So just having that one person, you know, you can go to, you can talk to, it's really, really helpful. And to everybody that be like, oh, I'm the strong friend, check on your strong friends, because the strongest people be dealing with the most. So it's just like, check on your people. Don't be judgmental. As a child, don't judge your parent. If you're in this position, pull yourself out. You have a prime example right here of you can make it. You can get through it. And y'all, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, Amy, for sharing your story. Like I said, y'all, I'm putting her Instagram down below. Go follow my Amy, and y'all better send her encouraging words. Y'all better check in on her, especially my supporters, because that's what we here for. We here to be there for each other, help each other, and uplift each other. So thank y'all so much, and see y'all next time. Bye.